Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I say good afternoon out of the politeness and kindness of a greeting, but it's a very nervous afternoon for a lot of Bengals fans who, most Bengals fans, I assume, who follow the team closely have already heard the news. Joe Burrow, breaking news, Joe Burrow went down injured on a play late in practice today. This is video of that play. He stepped up into the pocket on an 11-on-11 passing play, stepped up into the pocket, scrambled to his right, went down on his own. It was a non-contact injury. Now, I'm calling it an injury. We don't have many details on it yet. We spoke to Bengals head coach Zach Taylor very briefly after practice. He saw it from afar, much like we did. He mentioned the fact that Joe Burrow was wearing a sleeve over his calf today, which was somewhat unusual, but Zach Taylor said that in itself wasn't any indication that there was any, type of potential injury looming necessarily. He said some guys have had calf soreness coming into camps, which again is pretty normal. These guys, even though training camp just started yesterday, practice physically just started yesterday, these guys have been lifting for some time now. They've been working out throughout the course of the offseason, whether it be with groups of guys or on their own. But he said some guys did have some calf soreness coming into camp, and Joe Burrow was wearing that sleeve over his calf. But again, it was a non-contact injury. Joe Burrow stepped up into the pocket, rolled to his right, and he was carted off the field. You see some fans here behind me right now. If we could kind of pan and get a look at these fans. These fans have been standing here for some time now. I'd say most of them for over an hour waiting for autographs, because this is where players leave the practice field. They walk between these two lines of fans toward the locker room before going in and changing, getting dressed after practice, going to meetings and things like that. They walk right between these fans. That's exactly where Joe Burrow was carted off the field after going down with that injury in practice. Again, no real indication of what exactly that injury is. But these fans at the time, some of them had no idea that Joe Burrow was even injured when he was being carted off the field. They said they did hear the walkie-talkies, though, as he was being carted toward the locker room. They heard on the staff's walkie-talkies that Joe Burrow needed medical attention. I spoke to some of these fans shortly after it happened. They said that they heard on the walkie-talkies that Joe Burrow needed medical attention. One fan said it kind of went hush at that point. They were excited when they saw Joe Burrow coming off the field. Everybody wants Joe Burrow's autograph, right? I mean, that's the hottest autograph in American sports at this moment, and you could argue. But then they heard the walkie-talkies say that he needed medical attention, and then there was major concern. A lot of fans got on their phones after that, wanted to find out what happened at practice. Again, Joe Burrow went down at practice with a non-contact injury, and it's tough, right? If you're a Bengals fan, it's tough because Joe Burrow has yet to, in his NFL career, has yet to have a real, true training camp, right? That was a lot of the talk yesterday. The first day of training camp practice, Joe Burrow was out there throwing a football. And that in itself, although it seemed, less than amazing, less than stunning that the quarterback's out there throwing a football, it was because last year there was the appendectomy. The year before he was coming off that devastating knee injury. The year before that it was COVID going into his rookie season, the year that he was drafted. So Joe Burrow even expressed his own excitement yesterday going into training camp, or coming out of the first practice of training camp, that he was just able to be healthy. One moment that I'll point out from Joe Burrow's press conference yesterday after practice, he physically knocked on wood. The podium that he sits on for press conferences is made of wood. He physically knocked on the podium and said, knock on wood. I'll step back into the shot here. He physically knocked on the podium, knocked on wood, and said he hopes it stays that way. He hopes he can continue to stay healthy through training camp ahead of this 2023 season. He went down at practice today with a non-contact injury. Again, 11-on-11 play, dropped back into the pocket. There was kind of a hole. He stepped up into the pocket, scrambled to his right, went down on his own, non-contact. He laid on the field for a minute, kind of sat on the field. Joe Mixon and some other players walked up to him out of concern as staff tended to Joe Burrow and, checked on him. Then Joe Burrow was lifted up onto the cart and carted off the field, out this exit, and right in between all these fans as he was taken into the locker room. I will reiterate again, there were fans standing here who didn't quite know what was going on, but they said they heard over the walkie-talkies that Joe Burrow, the star of this team, the face of this franchise, who, by the way, is still waiting on that contract extension, Joe Burrow was carted off the field with an apparent injury. Again, we did speak to head coach Zach Taylor after practice, didn't say a whole lot. I mean, again, he had just seen it like minutes before. I will add, this was at the very, very end of practice. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, the second to last period. The way that practices work, they do it in periods. They had 13 periods in practice. I believe it was either the 11th or 12th period of practice that this happened in today out of 12. It was an 11-on-11 period. It was kind of hush. I heard somebody behind me, as I saw it all happening, I heard somebody behind me yell, "No, no, no," because everybody saw it. And if you didn't see it, your attention got turned to Joe Burrow sitting on the field and being carted off rather quickly. We will, of course, I don't mean to scare anybody here, right? I mean, this might be a minor injury, and I think a lot of Bengals fans would hope that this is a very minor injury for the star and the face of the franchise, the quarterback, Joe Burrow, heading into his 4th NFL season. We will continue to have updates throughout the day. Our video journalist, our sports video journalist, Philip Lee, is inside the locker room right now as we speak, getting interviews from players, finding out what they saw, finding out what they think about this, and hopefully hearing some good news because, you know, players talk. Maybe Joe Burrow has had interaction with some players, maybe getting some good news, but we will, of course, keep you updated as we find out more updates in terms of Joe Burrow's injury here late in today's 2nd day of training camp practice. We'll send it back to the studio now.